really like the design of this game. Because I like how, in a lot of games, like, including Demon Souls, there isn't much sense of connection between the various areas of the game. Like, there's usually, like, some sort of barrier or loading wall where, like, everything is, like this side is lava world and this side is forest world. But, in this game, if you pay attention, you can actually see most of the areas in the game are, like, very well physically connected to each other. Like, you could generally find a place that you're going to go in the game from some other part of the game. Like, you're looking through, like, binoculars or at some viewpoint in the game, and you'll see other areas of the game that you're actually connected to. And the physicality of it makes sense, so I actually enjoy that about this particular game. This is the main bonfire for the game, I suppose. We're going to be spending a lot of time with the Firelink Shrine bonfire over the course of the game, since most of the hubs connect here in some way. I suppose that's what you might call it. Here's a piece of humanity. Oh wait, 3 pieces. I think they must have changed that at some point. I think it was originally 1. And here's Depressed Dude.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead,
I've been out with
right?
zombie.
Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below. In the room. Ring them. Not much. So, off you.
Okay. He basically just tells you, you know, you have to ring the bells of awakening. One's up there, the other's down, down, down below, in a very unpleasant place. Which we will no doubt be seeing at some point. Anyway, aside from him, who gives advice to new people who are completely lost and don't know where to go, fairly bad advice since the game is the way it is, the only other person who's here at the start of the game is this dude, Fat Cleric.
There. I believe we are not. I am Petrus of Thoroland.
Petrus of
Have
Thoroland.
you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to.
This
keep a
guy is your
distance, if
basic
possible.
miracle seller at the start of the game. And it seems like you won't talk to at first, but just talk to him again.
I realize that I
And then
have
suddenly he will
requested that
find
we
his
retain our distance.
inner
But I
conversationalist.
also want you to know that it here. No.
And he'll give you one of the game's most useless items, the copper coin.
Oh
Them
my.
a 3rd time.
You again. Oh, I have to await. So what would
Yes,
that
yes,
please
yes.
you?
Say yes to this question.
Very well. Then first.
And if you didn't start out as like a
Covenant
cleric
with
or
the
a temple
gods.
knight, you'll have to join the Covenant in order to get him to teach you anything. But it's fine because, he will teach you
Now let me
miracles
share
even
my
if you
little
abandon the
tips.
Covenant later.
Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Also, learn a gesture. Shrug. You can see if we have enough souls, we could get miracles, but we don't have enough souls to be wasting
Come
on that
again.
sort of thing at the moment. So I guess I should talk about a couple of just basic game mechanics, which I am definitely taking for granted at this point, but I should explain to people who actually want information. Basically, that number in the bottom corner there is your soul count, and when you kill enemies, use certain items, or... No, I'm pretty sure that's actually the only 2 ways you can do it. Kill things, or use items that have souls in them. So for instance, the Lost Soul of the Undead has would give you 200 souls if you used it. And it's basically the universal currency for this game. If I want to level up and improve my stats, I have to spend souls. If I find a merchant and I want to buy items, I have to use souls. if I want Fat Cleric Dude over there to teach me souls, I need teach me miracles, I have to use souls. So souls are everything. If you die, your soul pile will basically be dropped where you died, and all your souls and any humanity that you happen to be carrying around with you will be dropped into your soul pile. And you have to basically try and get back to it without dying again, otherwise you'll spawn a new soul pile when you die the second time, and the first one will disappear and take all of the goodies with it. That's basically the big gimmick of the Souls games in general. So Demon Souls worked roughly the same way. They'll punish you for dying, but they won't. They'll give you a chance basically. And depending on how you see things, that is either like really harsh or not so harsh. I don't think the Souls games are quite as difficult as some people sometimes like to hype them up to be. Like they have one or two really harsh mechanics and a pretty steep learning curve. But once you actually like get up the learning curve, like you can defeat most of the challenges in this game with knowledge. So if you happen to be watching a walkthrough, like you are, then you're already on a good way to finding some mastery of these games. And now might be a good time to talk about, say, for instance, the Master Key. The Master Key is either the most broken item in the game, or just a really useful item, depending on what you plan to do with it. For new players who enter the game the first time, you're basically given two options, or actually no, I should say 3 options as to where to go. You can go up these stairs to the starting area of the Undead Burg, which is where new players should go. So if it's your first time through this game, you should go up these stairs. There are 2 other areas you could visit as well. One being the Graveyard and Catacombs area, which is over on this side where I was before, as I was walking around talking. This area is full of skeletons that cause bleed damage, so it's fairly intimidating the first time that you come here. But a lot of people obviously walk over here and don't see any real problem, and when they see skeletons coming out of the ground, they're not too intimidated, because in most games, skeletons are not terribly threatening, but these skeletons can easily murder you in about 3 hits depending on your health and your bleed resistance. You won't last very long if you are not good enough to just avoid all their attacks and kill them very quickly. And obviously I don't have a weapon at the moment, because now that I'm in the main part of the game, I'm going to be sticking to my policy of only using fist weapons. So at the moment, I've got nothing, and I have to make it to the Blacksmith to do so. The third area I was talking about, where new players normally can go, is down here. So you run down these stairs, past the Firekeeper, who's this person in the cage. Run down these stairs. Around here. And you'll find this little round room down here. This is actually an elevator. If you step in the middle, you can go down. And then you'll come out here. I thought it would give me the nameplate immediately, but let's just walk down. It should just hang up sometime. New Londo Ruins. And I find this place to be one of the most annoying parts of the game. Just because, I don't know, ghosts. No one likes ghosts. If you head out there, which new players might head down here and go, ooh, an area, I wonder where this is. then you'll wander out there and ghosts will attack and murder you. And you can only fight ghosts using a particular item, which is... Oh. A bit of aggro to Dragon. Yeah, bare fists is not for the faint of heart. And I'm not exactly covering myself in glory there, am I? Losing to a Dregling, the lowest of all low enemies in this game. Like, the Dreglings around here don't even attack you, they're basically joke characters. And there I was getting murdered by one of them. Hey. So yeah, you just gotta love this guy. You enjoying yourself? Yep. There is an item out there that a lot of people like to suicide run towards, but I don't like suicide runs very much.
Hmm?
This guy's a blacksmith.
You haven't lost yet. And more importantly, well, I'm Ricky of Vinheim. I was once an established smith.
It's basically a magic blacksmith,
Look at me
for
now.
what that's worth.
Can you believe it?
He'll do some basic things for you.
Although,
But, he's got some very basic magic. And he'll sell you a wand so you can cast it. But apart from that, that's pretty much the extent of his usefulness at the moment. Later on,
come
when
back
you
soon. Smith, don't let me wither away.
get some particular items, he can make basically magic weapons. Weapons for people with intelligence builds. But right at the moment, he's pretty worthless. Now, if you've got the master key, you actually have two other options for where to go at the start of the game. And this is where things can get pretty broken. Since you can immediately open this door and head out this way, into the Valley of the Drakes. Now, without the master key, you would be hard-pressed to get here until much later in the game. Now, if you go this way, you can go directly down to the swamp area. And this allows you to bypass an area called Blighttown, which is an incredibly annoying area that people love to bypass. Although, I think it's kind of cheap to bypass Blighttown, particularly if you've never gone through Blighttown before. Like, I think it's part of the game people should experience, but a lot of people in New Game Plus would definitely like to bypass it, and that's where this becomes very useful. But if it's your first time playing the game, like, don't spoil yourself. Go to Blighttown at least once. Like, frame rate drops and everything, it's still, like, an integral part of the Souls experience to eventually go to a swampy area that poisons, plagues, and annoys you, and then makes you rage quit several times. Like, trust me, that is part of the Souls experience. The other way you can go is the way I'm going now, which will lead you past this undead dragon. This guy's asleep. He'll basically stay asleep unless you try and take his stuff. At which point he'll wake up and start, like, spewing acid and stuff. There's a ramp here, so even if he is awake, you can avoid him. It's just, yeah. Unless you really want his stuff, I just wouldn't wake him up. There is a pretty good sword in there, but like I said, I'm using a fist build, so I really have no reason to want the sword right away. The sword and shield, there's a shield, yes, there is a shield in there too. Yeah, it's a very good shield for fire resistance, I think. It's the dragon shield. So a lot of people with Master Key can, like, boost their gameplay fairly early on by just running past here and grabbing his stuff. But that's another thing. Like, I don't like suicide runs. I find that you're cheating yourself out of the actual experience the way it's designed. Anyway, the key to the first part of my fists only playthrough is something I saw other YouTubers do this area, which is basically they'll run past here in order to get up to the Darkroot Garden, and from there they can run through that area and eventually get to what would normally be the first proper blacksmith of the game, but you would have to go through several areas of the normal route in order to unlock his availability. But if we run through here, we can avoid all the bosses and basically end up by the Caestus, unlock a shortcut that will take us right back to the start, and then we can play the game normally as if the Caestus was in our inventory from the start. Now the only problem with this is I have to get past this particular blue dragon and a black knight. So fingers crossed and hope that I don't fail like terribly, as I'm probably about to. Wait, no. I thought he would do something a bit more clever than that. The last time I tried something like this, he like boxed me against the wall and like I pretty much lost 90% of my health. Oh well. So much for being intimidated, that was easy. If you go through this tunnel, you'll reach a bonfire. So light it up. Rest at it. We have another guy to run past. Although now that I've unlocked this bonfire, like if the Black Knight here kills me, like I don't have very far to run. Oh. See you later, sucker. Still after me. Probably is. Oh wait. I think I see him running away down there. There is a crystal lizard here, but I think I'll leave him alone this time. Since I'm supposed to be pretending that I actually am starting from the start and not coming through here. Now there are only two more people who can screw me up. One is basically a shrub, and the other is a very slow-moving but incredibly hard-hitting large lightning-throwing demon thing made of stone. That sounds bad. He is pretty bad, but to tell you the truth, I'm actually a little more worried about the bush. Because it's a pretty narrow passageway there. This guy, just don't be intimidated by him and just run. Like he'll never try and chase you out of the room. And we made it to the blacksmith, but before messing with him, go up here. Grab some fighting gloves. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Grab this bonfire. So I just got a brain. Just to be safe. Run down here. And let's talk to this guy.
You must be a new... I'm Andre.
This guy is probably the second most useful blacksmith in the game. And he also has what we need to start this punching playthrough. So where is it? Here we are. Let's get a bunch of gloves.
Don't get yourself... Neither.
Seems like I might have been mispronouncing that. Is it Caestus or Caestus? Caestus? I have no idea. The fact that there's an A at the start of that word, like, is bothering me now. But anyway, we've now got basically a bunch of gloves that we can punch people with. Hooray! So we've cleared the first hurdle of starting up this playthrough. Let's run down through the next bit. I would take a more leisurely time, like discussing our surroundings and all the things we're doing, but I'm really just trying to get this thing started from the beginning the way it should be. So we'll just run. Run like the wind. If a giant guy with a mace appears apart trying to kill me, there he is. Let's just ignore him and pretend that we'll basically pretend that none of this happened. I didn't actually go through that whole process of getting those gloves. I just magically appeared here outside the tutorial with the gloves. Hand me downs from like higher beings. And now we're ready to begin our playthrough of Dark Souls. Huzzah! Okay, this has been a really long video, so we're going to cut it here. And the next time I start up, we'll begin our traditional playthrough of Dark Souls with just very untraditional weapon choices. So we'll see you there.